Hey everyone. So I had some time to kill basically, and I just thought I'd start talking at the camera and see where it goes. I guess there are a few things that have been kind of floating around in my mind recently. And it comes after reading Baudrillard, who's I think a really brilliant contemporary aesthetic theorist. Just what mediums like this, mediums of communication like YouTube, really mean, and what they're really doing. Because I think, well, especially for Baudrillard, he talks a little bit about the simulacra, which is a complete copy of something that was original, so it's indistinguishable from the original. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so something like talking face to face and then watching someone talk on YouTube eventually start to mean the same thing. Whereas there used to be one level of reality that was more real, and then there's this, which is a little less real, supposedly, but these different mediums are starting to flatten into one plane of reality that all means really about the same thing, because the things that we do here on YouTube impact the real world just as much as anything else. It's not disconnected at all from the real world. In fact, people who make videos on here oftentimes become famous for whatever they do, whether it's making music or just entertaining people. So it's just a very interesting form of expression. And so I just wanted to see basically what you guys thought about that. And I mean, to what extent, when you watch someone's video, to what extent do you feel like you're sitting next to them and listening to them talk? I don't know, for me, like, if I do it for long enough, I start to feel like I don't think about whether it's real or not. But I think it's kind of an important distinction to try to make. Especially since some people get a little caught up in this whole YouTube thing. I mean, it's kind of interesting because if you make videos after a while, you start to become there starts to be this form of yourself that exists on this plane. And I mean, truth be told, the people who make videos are only putting forth certain information, and it's just framed within this little box, and the people watching the videos can only see what the people who are making the videos present. And people were a little less skeptical at first, back when Lonely Girl was popular, and they believed her. They watched it and they thought what they saw was real. But then they figured out they can't trust what they see so much. And I think that is at least one of the important distinctions to make between YouTube and reality. I mean, of course, I hesitate to use a word like that, and of course there are still plenty of ways to be fooled in reality, interacting with people in the physical world. There's still plenty of information that people can withhold, and when it comes down to it, all forms of communication are really done through some kind of medium. I think by definition of them being communication, even using words can be limiting in some ways, although I think overall they're more expansive than limiting. But I think I've gone over this at some point. But my point is, to what extent do you think that this is real, and do you think that we're headed toward a total, I guess, annihilation of the difference between so-called reality and technological forms of expression. And I think in some ways, yes. If I could just touch on this really fast, even take movies for example. I feel like movies used to be more. You know what? No, the whole medium of film is very much like this, but I feel like with some kinds of art, the object is separate, and from you, the object is the other, and you are there to observe the other and interpret it through, your own perceptions. But you recognize that it's separate from you. But with something like cinema, with something like movies, you totally get immersed in it. And especially now, the cuts are so fast that you don't even have time to think about anything, really. It carries you from one scene to another, and it's becoming closer. I mean, it's really not like reality at all, but even the pattern of cuts is it's following the 1/f pattern, which is called pink noise, which is sort of imitating this natural sort of rhythm. I think it could have been the natural rhythm of the human brain waves. I'm wrong about that, but look it up. It's very interesting. Anyway, where I'm going with that is that all forms of expression are going toward this mimicking of reality, simulacra, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that YouTube is certainly a step in that direction. So tell me what you think about YouTube and your experience with YouTube and all that good stuff. Alright, I'll talk to you later.